It's been such a difficult couple of years. It's so tough that it led a task force to recommend all people under the age of 65 get screened for anxiety. Kevin Petersen with the Chronic Hope Institute is joining us to talk about these new recommendations. Good morning, Kevin. It's so good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks. It's good to see you too.
Hey, let's just start off with these screenings. I mean, when would people expect to be asked these questions that, it's not happening right now?
Well, what the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force has recommended is that when you see your primary doctor and you start expressing symptoms of anxiety or stress, that's when they want this to happen. They want your primary doctor, who you generally see more often than anybody else, to start doing a direct screening.
Okay, so this is kind of the idea, is incorporating it into your routine physical health care, right? So if you're going for that physical that you have, scheduled every year, it would be another chance to try to help and help people at that point.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're thinking is, this is the doctor that you see the most. And so your regular physical, or if you're coming in for anything else, hey, let's just do a quick couple of questions and see where you're at.
Yeah, there's been so much work to try to create parity, right, between your physical and your mental health care. But for somebody, let's say that you do meet with your primary care or your family doc and you realize you need a little bit more help. I mean, is there a system set up for them to connect people to the right therapist and the right help?
Yeah, so the beauty of Colorado is that there's actually a system of community mental health centers covering every county in the state. And so the primary doctors can actually refer you there, and they'll take insurance, they'll take Medicaid, Medicare, they'll take people that don't have insurance and just need to pay cash. And a lot of them will have like low cost options as well. So that's your primary. The secondary, I always say, is take a look at psychologytoday.com, because you can always input your zip code and your financial situation and your symptoms, and it's going to come back at you with, oh, here's the people that are available.
What would you say for folks to to watch for, and the symptoms to watch for when it comes to anxiety, and at what point you should be bringing it up with your doctor?
Yeah, so the things we generally look for, the number one thing is being fixated on an issue, whether it's real or imagined, and you just can't get it out of your head. You just can't let it go. And it's intense worry, intense stress. You're in a state of fight or flight but there's nothing out there to get you. There's nothing chasing you. And that's generally the things we want to look for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was diagnosed with postpartum depression after having my son, I worked with my therapist on that very issue of just, how do you work through that emotion and cope with that? What are your recommendations to folks who are living with that?
Yeah. So the things that I always recommend to start with are exercise, regular daily exercise. And I don't mean you don't have to go to the gym and become one of those people. I'm talking about getting up every day, taking the dogs for a walk, walking around the block, just getting it up, get moving, get some outside action. Nutrition, pay attention to what you're eating, maybe decrease the sugar and decrease the caffeine. Let's see, meditation is always one of my absolute favorites, is that, practice your mind, relaxing your mind. And then therapy. I think therapy is huge for people because it's someone that's going to listen to you and validate you and remove the stigma. If you're having these issues, one of the things we want you to understand is it's okay. People have this and we're having it on record numbers. So let's talk about it and get you to a space where you can exist.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It was one of the things that helped me the most was when I opened up about it, and I heard from so many other parents who were going through that same experience. And there is a very strong community just waiting, to take you in and give you a hug and help you. Thank you so much for your help, and I think this is great information. And one last quick question for you is, where do the recommendations stand right now or has it been approved?
So right now, that was just an initial rough draft that was released by the Preventative Services Task Force. In the next couple of months, it's going to be formalized. So we should see probably in the next, let's say 3 to 6 months, an official screening going on in most primary care facilities.
And people can always just raise that question even before that. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It's always so good to see you.